understanding and depth of knowledge of the offense, where is that right now, maybe compared to where you were last year getting ready for the season?
Yeah, I think definitely just, having the experience of last season, but then also having, having the offseason to work with Coach Smith and, just me in spring compared to me and now with, the understanding of the offense has grown so much. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, when preseason camp's so valuable for that type of thing, to get a better understanding of the offense with the players that we have. So it's been great.
Julian, what do you like about having you in there in that time?
Yeah, I think he's done some really good things this camp, and have a ton of confidence in him, and know that he's gonna do his job and he knows what he's doing. And I think the whole room, the quarterback room, and then the whole offensive line has a lot of confidence in him.
He played a lot. He played in the Purdue game last year. Started on your offensive line.
Yep.
He played in the Miami game. Was there a moment last year that you kind of saw him start to rise to that occasion, and what have you seen from that growth?
Yeah, I mean, we came in the same class together, so I've always known that he was going to be a good player here, and he did a great job for us last year, and super excited for him, and we have a ton of confidence in him as a player.
How much freedom do you think you're going to have at the line of scrimmage this year in comparison to what you had last year?
I think we'll do a good amount of stuff at the line of scrimmage. Coach Smith he's obviously a very bright offensive mind and somebody who puts a lot on the quarterback's plate. So it's been fun to work with him.
Julian, how to have that?
Yeah, I think as a quarterback you want to be in charge. You want to be able to make the checks and get us in the right play. And so it's been a ton of fun.
Julian, how would you describe the language of an Arthur Smith offense?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more wordy than last season, but that's what it's like at the next level. So it's been great to have that and challenge our offense.
When did you realize that this team had a pretty unique chemistry?
Yeah, I think we were building that. We built that in the spring and then in the summer. We were just trying to keep building it, and I think we're at a good chemistry right now. It's only going to grow throughout the season.
Julie, we've heard some of your defensive teammates talk about going against the offensive practice, and then you guys can show a look and then do a bunch of different things out of that. Like people talk about plays on plays kind of thing. What does that mean? How can this offense make it difficult for opposing defenses?
Yeah, I think it's tough on defenses to communicate. We create stress for them.
Julian, who's the most confidence or the most chemistry besides Jeremiah?
Yeah, I think me and Jeremiah and Brandon have always had a lot of chemistry just because of last season playing together, and those guys get a ton of targets last season. So I think building that chemistry with Devin and then with Chris and Brock has been great to kind of build that. And then with the tight end room, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I've known Bennett for a long time, me and Bennett. But having the new guys like Mason, Hunter, have those guys come in at tight end and build that chemistry has been great too.
You mentioned earlier getting out of your comfort zone as a leader. How did you do that, or what sort of things?
I think just Coach Mick kind of pushed a lot of the leaders this offseason to just kind of what more can I do as a leader, and I think we rose to the challenge.
Two more guys.
It seems like Phillip starting to get better at receiver there. What have you seen out of Phillip and Dez as they're kind of making a junior secondary?
Yeah, Phillip and Dez have done a great job. They had a great camp. They're both really good players and somebody who I have a lot of confidence in at playing quarterback. And they run great routes. They block for us, and they always know what they're doing on the field. So it's been fun to have those guys out there.
Last one here, guys.
Sorry, what was it?
What makes Brock Ford so quarterback friendly?
Yeah, I think he's somebody who knows the ins and outs of the zone, can win versus man coverage, and just the guy that he's always seeming to find himself to be open.
Julian, what makes you have a guy Carson at center who's been around for so long? How does having him ease you or calm you when you have a guy who's so experienced?
Yeah, I think I definitely appreciated it a ton last year. Being my first year as the starter, having a veteran at center like that was amazing to have. And then to have me and Carson back this year, just the chemistry that we have, it's you know, we kind of know what each other is thinking of the line of scrimmage and can get on the same page very quickly. And there doesn't need to be a ton of communication because, you know, we're very in sync.
Thanks, Julian.
Thank you, guys.
Who we thought was a spot, though, he mentioned you. He said you weren't going to wear the number, but you didn't want to change it. How hard was that? Just obviously joking. Like, what does it mean to give that and then to give up the one that you've been waiting for?
Yeah, I wore number 1 for a lot of my football career. And it just felt like me. So when I first thought about it, I was kind of iffy on it, if I'm being honest. And then I thought about it more as we got closer, and then I kind of knew who was between. So then I'm like, okay, I probably got a pretty good chance of getting it. And then when I got it, it was like I just kept hearing a voice in the back of my head. It was Coach Day saying we have core values on our team, and one of them is unselfishness. And for me to carry this it's an honor, of course, all the great people who have worked before, leaders, tremendous leaders, but to be unselfish, to give the number that it means so much to me, number 1, and to come in this number 0, the block O, and just have that honor is just something that I wanted to do, not only for me but for Buckeye Nation and for my teammates who all wanted me to have this number, and for my coaches as well. So that was the reason behind it.
Everything you've been through here, you battled the talented receiver, the wins your turn. How rewarding is this moment?
Yeah, it's very rewarding. You know, it feels good to have this honor. I can't say how thankful I am enough. And I learned from a lot of guys that came through here. A guy that had this number in my room my freshman year, Xavier Johnson, learned from him, Emeka, Marvin, Carnell, JJ. We had a lot of guys, even Jackson, Garrett, all of them coming back, just pouring into us. We had a lot of guys and just a lot to learn from.
So who gets one now?
That's a great question. Not for me, but for Coach Day.
You know, back in the day, wide receivers were sort of like with cornerbacks, sort of the prima donnas on teams. There have been so many of you guys who've been captains now. What does it just say about y'all's room?
I think our room is we know the standard in the wideout room, and we make a lot of plays. So I think a lot of guys listen to our room. They kind of know where our standard is, and we hold ourselves to that standard. So they see if me and JJ can hold ourselves to that standard, other guys are going to listen to us. They see how hard we work, or they see that we're not just picking a young guys, but we're also holding each other accountable. So I think, that's what it is.
Does that jersey feel?
Feels amazing. Yeah, it feels amazing.
Too, a little bit, meaning
nah.
Expected of a guy that wears that.
Yeah. There's a lot expected, but there's no pressure at all. I've been playing football my whole life, and it feels amazing to wear the number. Say that last part. Yep. Yeah, like I said before, it's a great honor to have this number, but I just feel like everything's lining up how I wanted it. You know, early on in my career, things haven't gone how I wanted it, but now, this year, I've seen everything just steady progress and keep going up. And now that the season's only 10 days away, I can't wait to get it started.
Brandon, you and JJ have been through a lot together, not just here, but down South Florida. To be a captain with him,
yeah.
What is that? Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I was thinking about it the day we voted, and JJ sits next to me in the team room, and I'm not gonna get into how the voting works and stuff, but I was just thinking about who I'm gonna vote for, and I'm like, okay, there's a pretty good chance he's gonna win this, but I didn't say nothing to him because I knew he wasn't gonna expect it. And then at the end of practice Saturday, I was taking a knee next to him, and I'm like, I have a pretty good feeling he's gonna get to be a captain. And when he got called up, I just seen tears of joy. And, you know, that's just growing up together. It's great to see that. And anybody who knows JJ, he's quiet. So it's great to see that he's come out of his shell a lot. And being a leader for this team, everybody knows they're going to listen to him just because of what he does on the field. And the fact that he can use his voice off the field and when we're in practice in the weight room and things like that, I knew that was big for him. And I knew he wanted to be a captain before he left here. And that's kind of why the tears of joy came out.
You guys are both South Florida kids. He could have used this as a 3 and out. You could have used it as 3 or 4 and out, whatever. Why did you two decide to go all in here and become captains at Ohio State? And why Ohio State does it matter to be captain here as a kid from South Florida?
Yeah, I just think I think any school I would have went to, I wanted to be a captain. That's just because of how I was raised and how I kind of was throughout my whole life, just being a leader on every team I was on. But just being a captain at Ohio State is different. It's different than anywhere else in the country. And when you're a captain here, you leave a legacy behind and all the guys that were once captains here. And I think that's why JJ wanted to be a captain so bad, because he knows who were the other captains to come through Ohio State.
What do you feel like the offense has progressed camp and with the season around the corner? How do you feel about where your side of the ball is?
Yeah, I love where we stand. We had 2 great scrimmages. We watched the film. We corrected some things, but I love where our offense stands. And we're going to be a great explosive offense this year, put up a lot of points, and have a lot of wins.
Coach Day said,
You want to be a leader. You've always kind of wanted to do that. Where does that come from? Where did you learn after somebody?
I would say just growing up, I kind of was like the quote-unquote one of the best players on the team. So when your best guys can lead and do the hard work and things like that, you're going to have a really good team. And that's one of my Little League coaches told me that. So that kind of just carried through my high school career into college as well.
How do you think this offense can maximize your skill set?
I think this offense can maximize my skill set in many ways, not just one, but things that Coach Smith has shown to me in just one-on-one film sessions is just, I feel like he really trusts me. He really going to get the ball in my hands, and he knows what I could do. We just been studying a lot of NFL clips and what he's done in the past, and kind of just things that he sees that I can bring to this offense. Yeah, I feel really good about it.
One guy he maybe showed you that you thought stood out.
We watched a lot of Jackson, just because he played here as well, but just how the Seahawks use him in their offense this year, outside slot in the backfield, all type of ways. It's just, we watched a lot of Jackson. There's other guys, but primarily Jackson.
We've heard from JJ said similar things about Arthur, like he feels confident he's going to get the ball in his hands, and a lot of you guys at the receiver room talked about that. Why is that? Why do you feel like that's different? Is it an offensive schematic thing? Why have we heard that so much this offseason?
Because I think Coach Smith does a great job of pulling guys in one-on-one and having like genuine conversations with them, showing them how he's going to use them, not just telling them. And then when we go out to the practice field and we actually do it and we see what he's saying in the one-on-one conversation, so it's just not just blowing smoke in our ear, just telling us one thing just so we can feel good about it, but now go put it on the field. So I think that's why.
How is Julian? JJ was talking about how Julian's changed in the huddle.
Yeah.
And telling people to shut up, getting everybody in.
Yeah.
The first time he was doing that, is that kind of jarring for you as somebody who's seen him for 3 years?
Yeah, I smiled. I smiled. I'm like, oh yeah, Jude, there you go. Yeah, when everything's not going right and stuff like that, we have great leaders, me and JJ, but when the quarterback says things and when the quarterback can take command, it's just different. And Julian has done that a lot of times in camp, and you've seen that, and that's why he's a captain.
So you've seen that switch with him.
Yeah.
How, I guess, refreshing is that? And not to ask, I'll just ask, was that missing from him last year?
I think he was hesitant at times to speak up. I think as the year went on, he got more comfortable. But this year is way different. You could see it, how he talks, how he walks, how he carries himself inside the facility.
Brandon, do you feel like
Oh, snap.
where Julian felt different in the huddle?
Yeah, there was a couple times in camp. He got the offense right, said what needed to be said, and then Saturday, he didn't like a call that was had, and then the play before, where they spotted the ball or whatever, so then it became 4th down. Coach Day went for it. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but sorry, Coach Day. We went for it, and Julian made a great pass. Receiver caught it, and you could see the emotion he had, screaming. I'm like, oh, yeah, he got that dog in him. I like it.
Brandon, Coach
We
Day
got
said
time for 2 more.
Brandon, Coach Day said that both Chris and Brock would be part of your top 6 receivers.
Yeah.
What qualities do those two exemplify that make them worthy of being in those roles as freshmen?
Brock, but just because how smart he is, I would say Brock knows every position, and as a freshman, that's very hard to do. But he took the offense and ran with it from spring, from day one. He asked the right questions. You see in the wide receiver room, he asked the right questions, and the skill set matches his smartness. He's an overall great receiver. He could do a lot of things, and I'm excited for his career. And then Chris, just the physical abilities that he brings to being a receiver. Every day you're not gonna see a 6'6" receiver that can run and move the way he moves. And if I'm being honest, guys didn't know in here okay, he's 6'6", but some of the corners are telling me okay, how can he move? And now they've seen how he can move. So I think that's what makes him special.
Coach Day said yesterday there's 6 guys that he feels good about playing in this wide receiver room. More playable depth he felt than even last year. Do you see that too?
Yeah, for sure. The more fresh we could be, the more offense, the more our offense could be explosive. The more yards we can get, everybody can touch the ball. So that's that'll be good.
Thank you, everyone.
I appreciate y'all.
Austin, what do you like about punt?
Kicking balls is awesome. No, but it's fun. You have a dude in your face, like every play, and you got to work with both the center and tackle. It's just different. It's awesome. Violent, physical.
That captain did for a second straight year, but following up on that, Coach, he was also talking about you probably project at the next level as a guard. You may have heard that or may have not, but do you like the idea of playing it now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously going to get me, like, me personally is going to get me better for the next level, but, like, whatever the team wants, what they need, if I need to play a left guard, left tackle, right guard, even center, but Carson already has that spot, so I won't be taking that from him. But, yeah, whatever they need, I'll just play.
Not a lot of guys have been two-time captains at Ohio State. What does it mean to you?
It means a lot, especially being from Ohio. It means even more. And then even O-lineman, like, shout out to all the guys out there for trusting in me and voting me on captain, and it's all them.
Austin, what's the challenge of moving not just the tackle guard, but also the left side, the right side? First players talk about actually tackle right is more a challenge than tackle guard. What's it like?
Yeah, definitely. Last year was the first year I played at one position the whole year, and I was just so comfortable. Even the spring, I told Coach Bowen, like, I hated right guard, but as you get more and more reps, you get more used to it, and I get comfortable with it.
When you said that to him, he was probably already thinking, well, you might be the right guy.
Yeah.
Had that conversation already started, or what?
I mean, they came up to me, both Coach Day and Coach Bowen's like, we just need reps at right guard. I'm like, yeah, I know. I just every day just put me in there, whatever. You just need the reps. I was just so used to left tackle. I thought I'd be playing that again this year, but obviously it's probably not going to happen. But I don't really care.
What do you feel Ian at left tackle? What do you like about Ian playing that spot that you occupied last year?
He's a dog. He knows what he's doing. He's improving each week. He's getting better. He's also finding his voice too. We feed off his energy, and he does his job at a high level.
When did you start to not hate right guard, and what kind of made you feel that way?
Definitely in camp. Obviously in the spring, that's when I really hated right guard. But over the summer with OTAs, more reps, I just got used to it. And I like it now.
Austin, you said it's not often where you have three times like 3 year starters in the interior line. Just what has that been like for the three of you? What's that room like when you guys are going over film, talking about scheme? I have to imagine just the knowledge in that room just helps elevate.
Yeah, obviously us three, we have a very high standard for us three, and we try to pass that down to the young guys. We try to bring them along and try to make that same standard to them, and just trying to get everyone on the same page. And obviously we have I don't know, someone said how many snaps we have, but it's a lot, and we're grateful for that and can't wait.
Austin, as an offensive line, and what's it like noticing a more confident and outspoken Julian Sayin in the huddle?
Sometimes he's a little too confident. He gets on our butt sometimes. After some plays, we're trying to get coached up by Coach Bowen, and he already has the next play, and we're trying to roll. But, yeah, I mean, he's awesome. He's a great leader, great quarterback, and sky's the limit for him, and I just can't wait for this year for him.
It's kind of like night and day from last year to this year with his command.
Yeah. Yep.
Austin, when do things transition from let's try to get some right guard reps to you're probably going to be the right guard?
Probably in the summer, I think. I don't know. They just put me in, never said anything. So.
Did anyone ever ask what you would prefer?
No. I don't really care.
Would you have had a preference?
No.
Austin, there's a lot of talk about Arthur Smith and changing the offense and how it's going to impact the running game or the running backs or the wide receivers and quarterback play. He's a former offensive lineman. How has he impacted what Coach Bowen has been able to do with you guys, and how much of Arthur Smith's hands have been on the offensive line?
He's with a lot. Every day he's with us. If it's start practice in Indy or in the film room, he's always talking to us, always trying to coach us, make us better. I said this earlier, but when he first got here, we had a meeting with him, and he just showed a highlight of all of his former offensive linemen just mauling and killing people, and he just tried to have the same intensity with us.
Last year's a first-year starter, 6.5 sacks. Now as a second-year starter, what are your personal expectations?
Just play team ball. That's it. I don't really have no individual goals or whatever the case may be. Just play team ball and win.
You talked last year, or maybe in the spring, just about how maybe when you weren't looking to be a leader, and how that was kind of coming out of your shell a little bit. Just how much does it mean to you now to see where you've come to and to be named the captain?
I mean, it means a lot. I mean, I've done something right, and I had to look myself in the mirror. I'm coming into fall camp, and I had to change. I had to change my personality, like you said. I don't really talk. I like to stay to myself or whatever. But this fall camp, I had to really reach out to other guys, especially the new guys that came on to the team, and just teaching them about the culture and about Ohio State. And I think I did a pretty good job.
What's it feel like in the moment when you hear your name called that you were captain?
I think my mind went blank when he said my name. I don't really remember. Just a lot of emotions. Just went through. It's a blessing. Like I said, it paid off what I did, and I just got to continue to do it.
Do you feel like you have more responsibility, or is this just how you've been this way for a while?
Being a captain now, I think I have a lot more responsibility on the team now. Just, like I said, just continue to be that leader, the lead by example guy, the vocal leader, or whatever, and then everything take care of itself.
What are those guys to change your mindset? Is that a challenge for you, or is that something that you came into camp like I need to do this?
I came into camp, saying to myself I had to change these things.
Why was that? Was it just for captaincy, or is it because you felt like the D-line needed more?
I think the team just needed more out of me. Yeah, this the team.
KJ, we talked to you a couple weeks ago about talking about Makari taking a couple steps. The last 2 weeks seemed to be a pretty good jump for him. What have you seen that you like from him as a younger guy who's starting to show what he can do here?
He's growing up. He's growing up real quick. He's into his playbook. He's asking me and some older guys what it is or whatever the case may be. He's trying to gain more knowledge of the game, and his IQ is increased. His body is it keeps transforming or whatever the case may be. So he's growing up pretty fast.
You've been a freshman here who came in with really high expectations. Have you talked to him at all about how to handle a freshman year at Ohio State?
I told him just take it day by day. Trust the process. Control the things that you can't control. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just stay the course, and God's gonna take care of you.
You said you thought the team needed more out of you. So what does that look like? What are people going to see out of you this year?
Just being more vocal. I had to step out of my shell, be more vocal, not just on the defensive side, but on the offensive side, and even special teams. I talked to Connor Hawkins, I talked to Julian Sayin a lot. Carson, Luke, Austin, all those different type of guys. Tavian St. Clair. I talked to everybody on the team, and I think everybody needs that from me.
You mentioned having new responsibilities and doing new things. Is that conversation with Makari one of those things that he's going to do more of now?
Oh, for sure. Especially with the new guys. I have to lead by example, like I said. And, they watching me. They watching my every footstep or whatever. And, I just got to lead by example for those guys.
So playing for Matt Patricia, what stands out about playing for Matt Patricia?
He's a good guy. Not just on the field, but off the field. He's like family. He's like family to me. That's how close we are. He just don't talk about football, talk about life, and that's pretty much it.
I don't give away secrets, but schematically, what does he add to the table?
Everything. Everything.
I don't think a second or third year Kenyatta Jackson would try to make an attempt to go talk to the transfer kicker.
No.
Things like that.
No chance.
I know that you said that that's part of maturing and wanting to do this, but is there anything that you've learned about yourself in making those conversations with guys that you typically would never go talk to but feel you should for the good of this team?
I don't think I learned anything. It's just, I always knew I had to do it. I was just probably, scared to do it. But, this one morning I just had to look myself in the mirror and be like, you got to do it. And I did it. And, those guys, they made me captain, so that's it. Thank you.
Last week, after the first scrimmage, we were told by TJ Alford that you kind of pulled your defense together and got a little not upset, but maybe emotional, maybe demanding better from everyone. How natural is that for you? Because we talked to 6 other guys today, and all of them said, I had to force myself to come out of my shell. I had to force myself to come out of my shell. And Coach Day said that that's just who you had always been. How does someone get to that point?
I mean, I think just my parents, you know, teaching me right from wrong and always telling me to stand up for what you believe in. And that day wasn't our standard, and so I just felt like I needed to say something to the group that it wasn't our standard. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it comes naturally, like, you know, when something doesn't seem right, to speak up about it. And I just give that credit to my family and my parents that have kind of instilled that leadership in me. You know, always seeing my dad standing up for what's right, you know, and leading our family and leading his company and stuff like that.
What do you think of the second scrimmage?
I think we had a really good second scrimmage. You know, it showed the guys could bounce back, and we had a really good second week. So I'm just super excited to see what this defense can do. And, you know, we're getting better every day and just, you know, working things out every single day.
Payton, Coach Laurinaitis said you got the most votes of any captain. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. You know, that meant a ton to me. I didn't know that if I was going to be voted captain or not. You know, the night before I was kind of thinking about it a little bit. So it was relieving hearing my name, you know, being called, and it means a ton to me. It means more than, you know, a lot of things, because being voted by, you know, your peers to lead them is a huge honor. It's like one of the biggest honors in this program, and, you know, seeing the captains before me, it's a huge role, and I know a standard I have to play at and lead at, and so I'm ready to go do that.
I think it's been like 8 or 9 years now the middle linebacker has been a captain on this team. Did you feel like, as the new middle linebacker, like that was something you needed to be?
Yeah, 100%. I think as a middle linebacker, you got to be a leader. You got to get guys lined up, and got to encourage guys, and, you know, be the calm within the storm, but also, you know, go downhill and make some plays. But you got to lead the guys around you, like, and I've got all the other leaders on our team have been, you know, leading me and stuff, like holding each other accountable. So it's been great just having everyone do that.
You were waiting to be a leader almost, right? I mean, because there were guys in front of you, so to speak. And how tough was that to kind of wait your turn in terms of maybe being outspoken, or in fact you even did that? But I mean, you know, was it kind of tough to bite your lip sometimes, maybe the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like I'd want to be a leader earlier, you know, earlier in my career, but I also got to learn from a bunch of really, really great leaders, and I've felt like it's kind of great, perfect timing. You know, God's plan is always bigger than mine. Like watching Cody Simon lead as a freshman, and then watching Sonny lead last year, and then watching Coach Laurinaitis lead us the last 2 years, just I've gotten to learn from some of the best. And so, you know, I've gotten to take a bunch of different stuff from them, and then even having like Coach Mick and Coach Day like leading our program. Like I've been around so many great leaders, so I've got a lot of people to learn from.
You are middle linebackers, so you have to get everybody lined up and correct. You're also now a team captain, but what does it mean to have a captain at all 3 levels of the defense? Do you think that matters for you guys and can help you in a unique way?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's kind of what you want on a defense, is having someone at all 3 levels that can get everyone together and get stuff situated. And, you know, I'm super grateful to have Jaylen and KJ, you know, being the captains with me. It means a lot, and it's good having other guys around you, because we can all enforce the same message that, you know, that comes from the coaches or from us or whatever. So it means a ton, and you know, having leaders like that, we can go outside of, you know, the practice field and go meet together without the coaches in the meeting rooms and stuff like that. So it's been great.
Hey, what about this team, about the defense? Because, you know, there's so many rookies, younger guys like you now stepped into the role or transfers. What's your level of confidence that this defense can be as dominant as last year?
Yeah, I have 100% confidence that we can be what last year was. I think what we need to focus on is just doing our job one day at a time. Like, we can't control, you know, what happens, you know, next week or the week after. We can just control the next practice and our alignment, our assignment, stance, our keys, stuff like that. And so I think just instilling that mentality into everyone is kind of the key, and I think we can have a really good defense. Yeah, I mean, I think I think we even knew this spring ball that we could do some special things, just seeing guys make plays and, you know, come together, especially this summer. Like, we've come together, and it's been, you know, difficult, you know, having 51 new guys, but I feel like everyone's really come together on this defense, and, you know, we're still working every day to get better, so we're just taking it one day at a time.
Payton, what is it about Arthur Smith's offense that makes life difficult for the middle linebacker and also the defensive line?
Yeah, I think they just have the really well coached. Like, the O-line is on the same page as the running back, and, you know, having Julian out there in his second year, he's running the show, and looks like a veteran out there. So it's good having him, and he's making checks at the line and stuff like that, and audibles. So it's just they look sharp.
Two more guys.
What did you think? We've heard some of the receivers talk about how they like Arthur Smith's offense because they keep saying it's plays on plays. Like, as a defense, how difficult is it to kind of, you know, figure out pre-snap what they might be running on any given snap?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a good job of, you know, window dressing different plays and stuff like that. But I think overall, like, the offense is just playing very physical, and their mentality, the O-line, tight ends, receivers, running back, Julian, they're all just, you can just tell they're a physical team, and they're ready to go compete, and you can see it from Coach Smith, and all the offensive coaches are doing a great job.
Hey, what's the chess match like between you and Julian? It seems like middle linebacker looks the quarterback in the eye before every play. Do you feel like you and Julian have had some really good, not battles because it's not a one-on-one deal, but some good like chess matches here during this that have made you better?
Yeah, a lot of them happen like when we do our walkthroughs and stuff. Yeah, like in like the evening walkthroughs in fall camp, there's some fun stuff, and it's good having Patricia. Like, he'll be calling in different, you know, disguises and stuff, messing with Julian, and, you know, we're all like yelling at him and stuff, like chirping him a little bit. So it's good. But he's so sharp. He knows. I'm super excited to see what he's gonna do this season. I really hope he has a great season because he's had a hell of a fall camp.
Thanks, Payton.
Thanks, Payton. So much to somebody who I think a lot of people would assume wouldn't, maybe not care, but it wouldn't carry that much weight for you to be at that.
Because that's something I've been working on a lot since last year, since my sophomore year. Something, you know, Coach Meg, anybody in the program could tell you that I wasn't, the vocal guy last year. Started out this year, wasn't as vocal as they wanted me to be. Picked it up in the summer till now, so I think I did a good job, you know, encouraging people. You know, like I said, we got 51 new guys here, so just showing them the right way we do things here, and I think I did a great job of that this offseason.
Starting to feel more natural for you to do that?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
When do you feel like you found your voice?
Like I said, this summer, that's when I feel like I, you know, found my voice for real. And it's, you know, just, I mean, it's not normal for me, but still got to step out my comfort zone and do things, you know, people around the facility want me to do. So that's what I had to do.
Was it a surprise to you to be named the captain, or did you kind of feel it was coming in your mind?
No, I didn't feel it, actually. It caught me by surprise. That's why I dropped a little tear last Saturday. So, yeah.
JJ, I mean, you accomplished so much on the field, but also you're getting the Iron Buckeyes, you're getting named the captain. Just how much has the stuff off the field and kind of the traditions around Ohio State meant to you, you know, to go along with what's happening on the field?
Yeah, it meant a lot. First coming in, I didn't know much about Iron Buckeye. Didn't know too much about it until I won it, and then I actually, you know, we got a little board up there, and it say everything it means to be Iron Buckeye, and I mean, it meant a lot to me that I won it my first year, and I'll just continue on doing it, you know, hopefully my last year here. So yeah.
Jeremiah, what is different about Arthur Smith's offense for you as a wide receiver?
What's different? Go give me the ball. That's all I can say. It was different for real. But no, we just got a lot of different things that we do in this offense with Coach Smith. He found ways to get us guys the ball, and it's all about the little things with Coach Smith. He got plays on plays, and you're going to see a whole different offense this year than last year for sure. Can't say, but you'll see it for sure, game one.
Yeah. How proud are you to get on with things? I mean, to get this season started.
Yeah,
you've seen
yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm very excited about this one. Got to go out with a bang. So yeah, that's what I'm focused and, you know, ready to put on a show week in and week out.
What feels good about this offense at this point, a week and a half before the season starts? Without giving away secrets.
I mean, like I said, we got a lot of different things that we do offensively. Coach Smith bring a lot of things from the NFL and bring it here. So I mean, the offense, we just looking different. Like, you just got to be out there practice to see how things looking. Like, we looking like a whole different offense, and you going to see.
That's you inviting us to practice?
Yeah, it's up to Coach Day. Yeah, I met Brandon. We started playing with each other when I was 9 years old. Knew each other ever since, seeing the way he grew up and things like that. And I'm very excited for him. He got the Blocko. It means a lot here at Ohio State, and I know he's going to do great things this year with that number on for sure. He's totally different. I mean, like people know, Brandon didn't really get his chance last year. I mean, plays he was open, we didn't really find him. But I think this year you're going to see a whole different, Brandon, and he's going to make a lot of plays for us.
Legend Bay lost his black stripe. What does that mean for this offense moving forward?
It means a lot. I think I said this back in spring. I said it to Luke Montgomery. I said before Legend Bay leave Ohio State, he'll be a Heisman finalist or he'll end up winning it. And the things he's been doing in practice has been pretty special for sure.
Is it captain platform this team? What do you think it'll look like this year for you?
Yeah, I think the people, my teammates, they voted me captain. Means a lot coming from them that they want me to be a captain of this team. And it's not. A lot of people could say that. I'm not the most vocal guy, but this year I think I showed that a lot. And just got to go out there and represent Ohio State the right way. And that's what I'm gonna do, being a captain.
Jeremiah, what's it like being the junior, kind of the experienced guy in the receiver room, where you got freshmen like Chris Henry Jr. and all those kind of looking at you for mentorship?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Say time flies. Now that I'm the junior and probably not the oldest guy, but probably the third oldest in the room. Got a lot of experience, got a lot of playing time. So, them guys, they always open to help. They always asking questions, want to learn. And I'm always got to be an open hand because, God did it for me when I first came in. So I always got to, mentor the young guys and show them the right way of doing things. So, yeah.
Was it a goal for you to be a captain?
Was it a goal? Yeah, it was. After we had our exit meetings in the summer, assistant receiver coach, Coach Jordan, said I should aim to be a captain, and that's what ended up happening. So, yeah. Yep. Yeah, Julian, he's doing a great job using his voice more, taking command of the offense. Julian he's taking that step, and when he's in the in the huddle, like guys talking, he's telling everybody to shut up and saying all type of stuff. So you see that swagger coming out of him and a lot of different things. But I'm happy for Julian. He's taking that step for sure. How it's different? I just said like he's just be more commanding the huddle, just being that guy, like making his presence felt, and that's what he's doing. Yeah.
Yesterday, Monday, Coach Day said that this is a deeper receiver room this year.
Yep.
What have you seen from Phillip and Dez that maybe you didn't see from them last year? Or do you see some progress there from those two guys?
Definitely from both of them guys. Them guys been coming in each and every day and just making plays, and you can't really say too much about the things that they're not doing. Them guys is going out there and making plays every day, especially Phillip. But both of them guys, really, both of them guys just out there having fun and making plays. So, yeah, hopefully they get their chance.
They said yesterday, or day before yesterday, that the wide receiver room, he's got 6 guys he feels like can play. He feels basically like it's maybe deeper in a reliability standpoint than it was a year ago. Do you see the same thing here?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We got me, we got Brandon Inniss, we got Devin McCowan, we got Kyle Parker, Chris Henry, all the young guys. We got depth everywhere, and a lot of us could play different positions as well. So, like Coach Day said, we got a lot of depth everywhere.
2 more guys.
Say it again. Okay. Devin's okay. Yeah. 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 You don't really see guys who's 6'2", 6'3" that could run with you like every Saturday. Like he's right there, and Devin he's gonna have a great year for us. Like he said here, like he got to face some guys. So I know I try to push him each and every day I'm out there because I know he got to go see some good receivers this year, and I know he go do his job. But Devin's gonna have a great year.
Last one, guys.
Made some difficult. Say he just long, like he's just long. He could do everything that you could do. He could run with you. He could do a lot of different things. So yeah.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
No problem.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
you enjoy the Spider-Man movie then, Jaylen?
Yeah, it was good. Good movie.
Ready? We got Jaylen McClain.
I imagine thought there was a good chance you were going to be a captain when you were one of the reps for Big Ten Media Days, but how's it feel to be a captain?
You know, it feels great. I feel like, you know what I mean, it's an honor and it's a blessing, you know what I mean, to be, you know, recognized as captain by, you know, by my peers, you know, and by the staff. And I don't take that lightly. Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, that's something I had written down, you know, inside my goals, you know, my book. You know, to have that, you know, like I said, is a blessing.
What's it been like for you stepping in last year, obviously the starter, but you're kind of behind guys like Caleb Downs and some guys that are veterans of that room to now being the veteran guy in the room and team captain?
You know, it feels great. I feel like, you know, being a leader, you know, was like the first step of, you know, taking on that new responsibility. And obviously being a captain is obviously something, a goal that everybody wants to have, you know, to obviously have that, you know, have that responsibility and that label, you know what I mean? It's great. You know, it's grown a lot. I feel like, you know, everyone can see that we have a lot of depth in that room. And Coach G has been getting us right, has, you know what I mean, putting us in, you know, good situations and good, you know, helping us make plays and just grow as a group in general.
What has Jay Timmons brought to the secondary?
You know, Jay Timmons has been making a lot of plays. He's been, you know, getting smarter. And he's been understanding, you know, the responsibility that he has now, you know, obviously as a true freshman. And it's good to see.
What's been the most impressive part about seeing a freshman come in and kind of play as he has and be given the role that he has?
It's just the way he goes about his business. Obviously not a lot of freshmen, you know, around the country have, like, the type of opportunity that he has. And he's not taking it lightly at all. He's, you know, he's growing every day, getting 1% better. And he's one of the better playmakers we have on this team.
The big thing this offer during fall camp and everything with Matt Patricia and you guys, versatility defensively, like it seems like every position group has versatility. Early Junior, Jay Timmons, so on and so forth. What's it been like having that much depth and versatility? And you know, for you personally, have you ever been on a team like that with that much versatility from top to bottom?
Obviously, you know, the versatility and depth, you know, helps, you know, me a lot, you know, in the back end as, you know, we get to make different looks and have a lot of different people in the game and, you know, make things a lot difficult for different offenses. So, obviously, you know, that helps. And, obviously, you know, I've been a part of a lot of great teams here at Ohio State, you know, with a lot of great depth and versatility, but, no, this one feels different.
How much easier has it been just in year two in that system, especially kind of with the number of new starters you guys have ever put in?
You know, obviously it's my second year, you know, in this defense, and it's been very easy, you know, to adjust to whatever new things that he wants to add, or it's been very, you know, easy just to, you know, pick up on things and just keep growing. Obviously, my responsibility, and just keep carrying on the standard of his defense.
What do you see from Terry Moore? How do you think?
Terry Moore, you know, he's getting better every day. He's one of those type of guys that, you know, he's staying continually on the rise. Obviously, he had a lot of production at his old school. You know, I'm expecting him to do the same thing here.
Yeah, those guys are new, but they're not new to play. You could tell that from the start.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, like, you know, when a freshman is coming from you know, high school, things are just a little bit different, a little bit probably. You can tell things are a little faster for them. But, you know, guys like, you know, Terry, Earl, James, Smith, and Quay, Rusaw, you know, and obviously the other guys as well. But, you know, they played football already, and they already understand, you know, the responsibility, understand the, you know, the stakes, you know, playing at a high level.
Yeah, you know, I was over there for the other thing going on, Austin's thing, but I wanted to ask you, because you've probably been asking, what does it mean to you to be a captain? I mean, you've come a long way in 2 years now, you know, in terms of just having a voice and a role and everything else. What does it just mean to you to be named the captain of this team, number one in the country?
It means a lot. You know, I said this, but it's just a blessing and it's an honor, you know, to be recognized by my teammates and by the staff as a captain. Being a leader was something I was trying to grow upon, you know, this past off season, obviously on through the season. So to be recognized as a captain, I don't take that lightly at all.
What's the responsibility that comes with that?
Basically just is upholding the standard and bringing people along with you.
What have you seen from Payton Pierce to gain the respect of his teammates and be a captain?
No, Payton's been growing ever since the end of last season. He's been very vocal. He's one of the, you know, backbones of this defense, as, you know, he's the mic, and he, you know what I mean, he's a, you know, vocal leader, you know, and he's, you know, putting production out on the field, so there's a lot of respect.
How eager are you to get on with this season? Obviously, everything talking for the college football world, y'all are number one, but you replaced all these guys on defense. You're going to be different somehow, some way, right? I mean, I guess how eager are you as a leader of this group to go out and prove something?
I'm ready to play. You know what I mean? I wish I could play tomorrow, honestly. You know, obviously, you know, we have Ball State first, and, you know, we're focused on that right now. But, you know, we have a standard to play to, you know, every day I practice. And I go against the best offense in the country every day. So iron sharp as iron. So I'm just getting ready to play.
Make a forecast. What will set this defense apart, do you think, from what you've seen up to now?
I just feel like we have a lot of guys, a lot of new guys that are just hungry. And I feel like we're going to play like we're desperate. And that's how you got to be every day.
What do you feel different from this fall camp, maybe compared to last August at this time?
I just feel like, you know, obviously like we have new players. You know what I mean? We're trying to get to know each other. We're growing closer together. And I just feel like we have to go a little bit faster at a higher speed when it comes to, you know what I mean, getting closer and getting these plays down and stuff like that.
What have been your impressions of the offense?
They're playing real well. I see a very explosive offense, you know, that has a lot of key pieces to it, and a lot of people, you know what I mean, that have a chance at making a lot of plays for us on Saturdays. I just feel like, you know, our offense has different ways to, you know what I mean, create plays, set plays up, and score touchdowns. So, you know, you guys will see, you know, when the time comes, but we have, you know, a lot of ways, you know, make plays happen.
Jaylen, where has the offense challenged the back end of the defense most in camp?
We have a lot of dynamic receivers and a lot of dynamic running backs this year that will help us make a lot of plays this season and score touchdowns.
When I say Legend Bay, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Fast. Yeah, he hits that corner, he's gone. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you'll see he's a very elusive. Has a lot of great speed and just very electric.
How different is your responsibility in terms of like communication and being both on the back end?
I'm the only returning like safety that, you know, that was a starter last year. So being that signal caller, that, you know, the voice back there, that's very vital. You know, it's what we're trying to get done in the back end. So I just feel like, no, that responsibility was probably, you know, Caleb and like Sonny Styles last year. So no, this year, you know, being the communicator, you know what I mean, is very big, you know, for what we're trying to get done.
When Caleb was communicating back there, like what's he communicating? What are some things you have to do?
I feel like his job, and obviously my job now, is to be that calming presence for everybody else on the field, that I know what I'm doing and that I can trust them that they know what they're doing as well.